Heads and tails in full effect, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it. I'm your host with the most, Brian Black, and as always, I'm not rolling solo. My brother from another mother, DJ Wex. Say Wex.
Hola, Bruno.
What's wrong? Shapunjan, you sound depressed, or jam. What's wrong?
Nah, do I?
Or ufuna by 6 into
Yeah,
ufuna class abantu.
yeah, man. No muntu say I sound like a child on the podcast. So I'm trying to, most what voice box you can train.
Yeah.
So I'm, in one period. So I'm trying to project more of the baritone.
Of the baritone.
Yeah,
I hear you. Okay.
Otherwise,
keep working at it.
It
needs some work in crane, pinch up.
Yeah. Oh, Kanti, now you feel the same way.
Joking, man.
Me say, do you feel the same way?
Much better. Yeah, Japuja, Donna.
Yizo.
All good, man. He's still reeling off the last episode.
Oh yeah, the legendary DJ Mpopo.
DJ Mpopo, man. Big love and shout out to everybody that has shown us love for that episode with DJ Mpopo. Quite a few people emotional, man.
Yeah.
It
was a real episode.
Yeah.
He was being real.
Yeah.
It wasn't a matter of answering 1+1. It was a really deep conversation, which we have to appreciate that he shared it with us.
Definitely.
It's not always the same.
Yeah.
People don't want to share their darker, times. Which it's dope. And the response from the people is actually dope.
Actually amazing, right? Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. I'm just, I'm overwhelmed by the response from everyone concerning that episode. Very, very dope one, man. Rasta, sharp was it?
Are we?
Okay.
Sharp as
jam. Our guest, ladies and gents, hails from Ekasi. I would like to think, but he'll correct me if I'm wrong. He hails from Mfulo, Soweto. He's a good friend of mine. I've known this guy for quite some time. One of the smartest people that I know. Very knowledgeable individual. I spend a lot of time when I speak to him. He always shares some gems, and I absolutely dig this man. One of the most talented DJs I know, legendary guy. DJ Linda, the great, is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I say, Linda.
Yes, sir.
Hola.
Shapuzit.
So great.
Akimnandi wena?
Hey man, ngathi ukhathele already you recovering.
No, sengjalo.
So njalo.
Calm.
It's that time, right?
No, I'm very fresh with it.
Fresh.
Very
You
fresh.
good?
Very good.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome
man.
to the show, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you
for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you for taking the time, man.
Yeah.
When I called you regarding the episode, the shoot, I thought maybe you were gonna say, "I'm gonna be ready to," but you were just like, "Let's just do it, man. Let's just do it. Let's not waste time." And
Was born ready.
Born ready, man. I like that. Yeah. I've noticed, and I could be wrong about this, because people live the opposite of their names, right? I'm not a patient guy by nature. My other name is Umonde, and Umonde means patience. I'm not a patient person by nature. I don't know why.
My parents ahopayo
Ukuthi uzoba.
ukuthi uzoba njalo bese wena ube ikaka change direction.
Yeah.
I-
For 18 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, man, Lindos, let's get to it, man. I think mine's and yours. I met you more before we met officially, and I want to give you a little story of how I got to know you. Right, 2002. I met Technikon Witwatersrand.
Yeah, Punting Road.
Bunting Road, now known as the University of Johannesburg, the Auckland Park campus, right?
Yep.
I am there, I'm studying public relations, and I meet a mutual friend of ours who I was in the same class with. So I speak to this guy and I tell him I'm a DJ, and he's like, "Oh, you're a DJ? Oh, okay, yeah, no, listen. Upume Soweto, this friend of ours, Upume Eastern. Upume Soweto, yeah, okay. Then you should know DJ Linda." I'm like, "DJ Linda, no, I don't know DJ Linda." He's like, "Oh, what's DJ Linda?" I went, "I'll tell you, DJ Ella is Gela." "Oh, is it?" "Yeah, no." And then I get introduced to my other classmates. Like, but DJ Brian. They're like, we are Mazu DJ Lind. I'm like, no, Mazu DJ Lind. Then eventually I get introduced to you. Usama nge Pantami. Remember Pantami?
Yes. I remember.
Right? Yeah. And they're like, no, that's DJ
man.
Linda, you know. And I got to see you, and I could not talk to you because I really wanted to talk to you because I'd heard so much about you. But you were always in the crowd. You were always surrounded by people. You know, people always wanted to be in your space. So I could never get the chance and the opportunity to speak to you. But I eventually heard you play because there used to be, you know, those daytime activations, Esquela, connector turntables and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
And the two names that used to stand out if it's Tech back then was DJ Linda and the late DJ Thebe. You guys ran
Thebe, man.
Yeah, man.
May his soul rest.
Yeah. You guys ran Events Tech, you know. Even when I got my first Freshers Bash, my thing was, I want these guys to hear me because I want to hang out with them. But we never got to hang. We only officially got to meet like years later when I was at Soul Candy and.
Yeah.
You know? But me, now I had met you before, way before. We would run into each other now and again. Maybe we played a gig or two, but we never got to speak.
Yeah.
But we met years later, you know.
What year was it when you went to Wits?
It must have been 2002. 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know this guy for 23 years?
Yeah. That's how long I've known him. But that's how long I've known him. But he didn't know me, you know. He probably would have seen me now and again walking about this girl. But, you know, I was still trying to impress the guy with him. And this guy must see me. He must see me because he's a DJ and he DJs guys. You know what I'm saying? And the guy I'm talking about with Tsepo. Remember Tsepo from East End with the dreadlocks?
Plaga Koza.
Oh, Plaga.
Yeah, and I remember Tsepo.
Shout out to Plaga, man. So Plaga used to, you know, he was the one that said, you need to know this guy.
Yeah.
You have to know this guy. You know what I'm saying? So that was then, man. It was just one of those stories that I was like, ish, man, this guy I knew him before, way before he knew me, you know? But was shy, would tell her. I used to watch them from the shadows. I'm like, hey, I tell her to my face.
So our guest basically has been famous since 2000s or late 90s.
Definitely late 90s, 2000s. You know, like I'm telling you, Esquela, you would never find Ulinda walking alone. It would be rare to find him walking alone. He was always with a crowd. Like he was always surrounded by people. Yeah?
Stock.
I'm going to say yes. And the Shisa, you know, and he was always surrounded by hot girls, and I'm like, ish, out anyway.
And you were looking up to him, saying, "Yo."
I was like, ish, manga popular njengale scale. So being sharp scale, you know. But yeah, man, I left, and and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And there was this guy, man. I don't know if, and I believe he's still there. He used to set up his sound, this girl. When you guys were not playing, he used to be the one who some activations. Spice. I believe he's still at.
No, not anymore. No. I think he left Wits Tech around. If I'm not mistaken, around 2017, 2018.
That's still not.
He was employed by
Wits.
By Wits Tech, and then with the merger of UJ and everything, and I think that's when he left. Yeah, he left pretty late because he was already working there.
Oh yeah, but he was in charge of the sound and whatnot.
Yeah, DJ Spice. His name was Chabo.
Yes.
Shout out to Spice.
Shout out to Spice, man. I know about Wits Tech.
Yeah.
Anybody who keleze Wits Tech between then and 2017 should know that guy.
They should. I stand to be corrected in terms of the date when he left. But however, he did leave very late due to employment, of course.
Oh, wow, man. Yeah, shout out to DJ Spice, man. Anyways, let's take it back, man. Am I correct? Mfulo North? Born and raised?
Village.
Mfulo Village.
Mfulo Village, yes.
Wait, you know when I was editing the podcast, Gampopo,
yeah.
Which part of Mfulo?
EA2 is a Mfulo Soweto section.
So it's not
Mfulo Central, Soweto
it's
section.
Central.
Oh, Mfulo Central.
Yeah.
Central. Okay, because we're trying to find out which Lakadi was.
Yes. Tina sitting Mfulo South.
I said Mfulo North.
Oh, Mfulo North.
No.
You said.
I said Mfulo
White City. You said some weird name, Jay. But yeah, I was sure it was
the old Lakadi or the new Lakadi.
The old one.
The old Lakadi, Shabalala. That's Mfulo Central.
Oh yes. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. When are you from Mfulo Village?
Now, village was just a slang that was always used. Mfulo Central is the Mfulo Village. Mfulo North is the one up there next to Kwezi Station. And then the Central down there, Shabalala, going down. That's Soweto section.
Oh, okay.
Where your Zozo Mafates come from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was about to say, shout out to Zozo Mafate. Ikas man has bred some nice DJs, you know. Yourself, Errol King is from Mfulo. Shout out to Errol. DJ Bobo is from there. Linda Mavimbela is from there. Zozo Mafate is from there. So you guys have a nice bucket of DJs at Kaslako, you know.
I should think so, yeah.
Don't be modest. Oh, Sai as well. Sai is from Mfulo as well. Shout out to my boy Sai, man. Yeah.
Isn't Errol King from there?
Yeah, I mentioned.
Oh, did you mention?
Yeah,
he did.
Errol is from Mfulo.
Oh yeah, no Bobo. Yeah.
So there's a nice pool of DJs at Kaslako, man. You know?
No, we definitely do.
So were you guys a clique at some point, or was it just Omunyo no Munyo's Lalel? Because I know probably no Errol abantu bokuqala. If I can.
Yes, you can put it that way. Actually, we learned from Errol, most of us.
Errol King.
I myself, I was taught by Errol.
Errol.
How to play.
Shout out to Errol King, man. So you're saying, for you to be introduced to saying Bambala beat, count beat, this is how you DJ. First time ever it was Errol King.
How do I put it? To touch the turntables and be able to put it practically. Errol King.
Yeah.
To see and be inspired, seeing the two turntables, the mixer and everything. That was in the matinees. The Johannesburg clubs where we used to go during the day.
Yeah.
Daytime clubbing.
So, all those places.
Q's, Rippingtons,
Arena,
Razmataz.
I never forget Razmataz.
He loves the Razmataz, this guy. Man,
this one is a very, very, very loyal customer here, Razmataz.
he adores the Razmataz, this guy.
That's when I actually first time for me to experience clubbing life.
Yeah.
And I was in every time. And I would go in JZD, you know.
Shout out to JZD,
you know, those guys. My man. So you'd go there for the music. And also, phela besingena emini la ne. Aboma 12.
Yeah. 12,
The club would start at 1. 12 o'clock they open, it's your queue outside. You come from Kind Center and everything.
Exactly. 6.
Oh man. To this day, I'm a big club lover. To this day.
You love clubbing, right?
I love clubbing.
Yeah, man.
So
it stems from that.
Would you say then the Hillbrow, those clubs that we're mentioning, are those the first time you also experienced club life? To be in a club? I know Soweto also had clubs.
But I don't think we were allowed.
We had the A-Train Club 707, which was very much laid back. I mean, it was more for older people. It was not as energetic as the clubs that we went to, you know. So I think where we went to, I mean, predominantly it was mostly your colored and Indian market who used to go to these matinees. So when I got exposed to that, that's when we met the DJs like Abo Hugo, JT, you know, I'm like, so what are these guys doing? Tables, there's DJ competitions. And then we'd go up to Hillbrow, there's Pink Cadillac, you know. So there were more ground level, you know, so
I know you know this guy knows his history. Yes,
I had to experiment.
Of course.
Yeah, because I mean, as we grew, I mean, the older guys will tell you, okay, sharp. After the matinee, we're going up to Hillbrow. We go to Pinky's, Pink Cadillac, you know. So you'd go.
So when Oskido left Razmataz and went to Arena, where are you during this time?
That was 1993, if I'm not mistaken. When they opened Arena, I was still at Rippingtons and Q's, between Rippingtons and Q's. So I went to Arena. I went to Arena where DJ Dion was. Q's.
Shout out to Dion, man.
Dion, man.
I went to Arena. I didn't really like Arena. I'll tell you why. There was this big guy with a shambok at the door. I don't even remember him. So, you know, I really wanted to go there a lot, but man, you know, I was a bit problematic, so I knew, you know,
makes sense then. Why would you want it?
I'm better off with my colored guys.
Rippington was the Q's were mostly.
Rippington's Q's were mostly my home. A little bit of Tropicana.
Oh yeah, there was Tropicana.
Guys, Tropicana so you take whatever you see there and then you reference it more error, ne?
Yes. And then I would like, okay, Sharp, how do these guys do this? Sharp. And then I knew Errol had a sound system and everything. Then I went to visit him sometime. And then, we found that he's got 10 tables and everything. And I was like, I think I can mix.
Confidently,
like,
so you said
confidently so. I didn't ask him
to
to teach me. I think I can mix. He was like, okay, try it. Yeah. And then with my confidence there, and then that's when I was like, nah, you're not doing it right. This is what you're supposed to do. And that's how I learned. Look, I thought I knew how to beat count, but I didn't. I had no idea. And mind you, Errol was not using SL 1200s then. I think those were either Telefunken, belt driven.
Belt.
And Errol was a MacGyver. So they had 2 pitch controls. So I mean, you could pitch it down like to the lowest, far back than the SL 1200.
Very slow.
But hey, man, he taught me the basics, and then it didn't take me really long, honestly, because I think I've always had the love of music.
Okay.
Dance music, house music, you wanna call it, So I've always had the love.
Were you collecting music by then, or were you still just in a learning phase?
Honestly, I started collecting music by dubbing from the radio station. So that's why I started collecting my music. I mean, what could we do? We had no access to music. And then I religiously listened to the shows like your Quincy Kekana, your Party Time show, Two Floors Underground, listening to Radio Pop. Big fan of 0 Hour Zone, because that's where I used to pick up, all the fresh new, house music tracks. Exactly.
Fat Joe was there as well.
Yes. But I wasn't really much of a big fan
hip hop
via Fat Joe. Hip hop, no. I wasn't a big fan. I was more of a dance music.
Person, was the guy, right?
Yes, he was. Evidence Camp. Aldrin Sekhalem Khotsi. Bob Mabena.
Rest in peace.
These guys are gone.
These guys are gone. Do you realize the names?
They're all gone. I mean, those are the guys that actually, paved the way for us.
Guys.
So, that's where I started, and then started collecting cassettes. I mean, you would hear somebody has a cassette tape from Ganyani.
Yes.
And then you'll go there, have your duplicate.
So you fall and
then now you go, now you've got your collection of whatever, Ganyani has in season for that time.
And what's the funniest thing about that is, we were not so much intrigued about Mfungwitola on record. As long as you have it on tape, it was enough for you, because at the time you could brag to your friends and say, "Abafethu, ngine number fresh engithole." So we didn't really think about on record,
but
unless
it was not
you were the guy.
It was not anybody who would have a vinyl.
I'm just saying,
even just to have a turntable, unless it go hi-fi,
Scarcity. I mean, access to vinyls. I mean, they were very expensive, looking at the fact that they had to be imported. So, I mean, you had Groovy Records.
Yes.
You had Look and Listen in Hillbro. You had Kohino.
Yes.
So sometimes vinyl would be printed in sessions. They would have a certain batch. Once that batch is done, and you don't have it, that's it. So that's why you'll find that people like your Ganyanis, your Oskidos, your Vinis, and your Christoses would be the guys that has this particular track. After that, then somebody else will then maybe get the license to reprint. And then it would come again.
After say for a while.
You'd have to wait. So let's just go back at least like 10 steps back, Gangane, and take it back to a young and fresh Linda Maling.
Yes.
Right? Can I call you by your other name?
Which one? Well, that's my name, man. That's my name. I don't mind.
Born Linda Stanley Maling, right?
That's right, yes.
Oh, Stan.
Mommy's
Kupra Stan.
The ones that know him. The ones that I know him call him Stan.
The only person that still calls me Stan, Sai. To this day.
Sai from Sai and Riboton.
Sai
from Sai and Riboton.
Even if I would go blind and pick up my phone, when a person says, sure, Stan, I know it's Sai.
Sai can only be, right?
Shout out to Sai.
Man.
And Riboton,
So let's go back to that young Linda Stan growing up in Fulo, right? Ekaya, is there anything musical Ekaya? Is there anyone that used to sing, or was they? Do you come from a musical family?
No, not at all. No one was a singer or an artist Ekaya. In my early age, at my grandmother's house, in Mufulo, where my mom comes from, and next door it was a tavern.
Right.
So I was very much intrigued by the music that plays there. Every night people dancing. Yes, they got drunk and fought, but didn't focus much on that. It was this music, especially when it gets a bit late. The music picks up a bit. And on Sundays, then they would play, your stylistics, your temptations, and then I was like, okay, now I really love it all, but how do I get access to it? And funny enough, I would remind my mom, of certain songs, and she'd be shocked. Would say, how do you remember this? Because you were small. Still very young to be able to remember this. So I think I was very much intrigued. Even when growing up, there was a gentleman who had taxis there. We knew when his taxis are about to be washed, there'd be music playing, the cassette tapes from Kanyani and the likes, Then I would make sure that I'm sitting outside just to hear the music and just listen. Man.
Also, that's what drew you to the music.
Yes.
But now, I heard different, right? Because I know you were in a school choir.
I was.
Wait, okay. So, now we go in the right direction. Okay, I like that story.
Yeah.
So, okay, school choir, are we talking primary school, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, what's the school?
No, point of correction. It was actually high school.
Is it high school?
I was in standard 6.
Oh.
Then it was in Westbury High.
I need to speak to my sources.
Sources.
Yes.
Okay, and then primary, where did you go?
Primary, okay, I started Emisebeni, which was in Mufulo. And then I went to higher primary.
This is in Mufulo Village.
In Mufulo Village, yes. Then I went to higher primary, Evugaibambe.
Okay.
Yes.
Also in Mufulo.
Also in Mufulo. And then next to Jacobs. Next to Jacobs, yes.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went to Mncube for 1 year. I mean, that was 1990. And then the whole Inkatha thing, started.
Yeah.
And then that's when my dad decided to take me to a Westbury boarding school, which was 1991. So obviously then I had to do my standard 6 all over again, because now I'm going to an English medium school, English and Afrikaans medium school, coming from a Venac school. So I did my standard 6 again at Westbury High.
Okay, a boarding school.
A boarding school, that's right. Yes, that's where we used to stay.
So that's where you started singing in a choir.
Yes.
Do
I even recall? Hey man, I was just singing, I was just rolling. Funny thing, I used to be a born again Christian then.
Oh.
The born again culture is big in the colored community.
Oh yeah.
So when I got there, I actually enjoyed it. I mean, because there was
It's dark.
Yeah. Well, and very nice
girls.
Yeah.
A church, mfana, you get the nicest ones.
There were nice youth sessions and how they would sing. So I once went to the church and I was so intrigued which board they've got instruments. I mean, we come from Eweseli, where our parents would carry beats, no guitar, no drums. So I was like, no, I like this. The music sounds nice. I really can enjoy this. Then I joined the youth.
Oh,
and then I joined the choir as well. Yeah, that was in 1991. Yep, that's right. Yeah. It was actually blue and white, so very floral shirt.
Man. Yeah. So you enjoyed singing, and I
did.
At the time, there was not even an idea what DJ. You were just enjoying being in a choir, right?
No. The funny thing is that at that time, I mean, 91, you can remember, all we listened to was radio.
Yeah.
I was never exposed to nightclub or parties, but I still had that thing of that tavern next door. The music.
Yeah.
Funny enough, so we would have e-youth on Saturday.
Yeah.
So the dining hall would be used for the youth.
Okay.
And then there was a hall, a recreation hall, right opposite.
Right.
Where then they would have a sound system there. That's when the problem started.
And you noticed good.
I was like, okay, I like this, but I think I really, really love this one, that side. Yeah, because I remember when I got distracted the first time, in the week, there was a guy called Cedric. He used to drive a red twin cam.
Right.
And he was playing
Kentucky.
not the Kentucky Strap.
Oh,
the
okay,
older
Strap,
one.
okay.
Yeah. And he was playing Got a Love for You by Jomanda.
Yes.
And that was the year when it came out. Man, I fell in love. Yeah. So as he drives, we would hear this song while we were in the schoolyard.
Yeah.
On Saturday, then there was a youth session.
Right.
The recreation center is playing the same song that I heard in the week. I was like, you know what? I'm sorry. Gotta go that side.
I'm done. Yeah. But who was playing there?
They were playing cassette tapes. If I can remember very well, it was a guy called Devro.
Yeah.
They were playing his sound system then, Devro. He was a matriculant then.
Yeah.
So they were the ones that would host such sessions,
Okay.
So it was Devro's cassette tape that was playing.
Okay, so that's when you were in school.
And I was like, Uto came to Westbury in 1992.
Okay.
So we met in 1992.
Okay. About Phil.
They came much later. I met them much later,
okay.
The guy that I went to Westbury with 1991 was Dominic Nabo George. He just passed on now, George. So all these other guys, I met them after.
Okay. Yes. So now you go into this room, there's this music, you've realized gune equipment here.
Yeah.
Do you want to do something about it now? Are you trying to find out like
honestly, I didn't want to do anything. All I wanted to hear was what else are they going to play. So what music are these people listening to? Because remember, back in the day, we were based Ekasi. We never used to travel that much. I mean, even in Noord-Geseg was foreign to us.
Yeah.
When you jump all in the
remember Oguchi, there was that thing, that act, Oguchi, you can't.
Group Areas Act.
Areas Act.
Of course.
Yeah, so there was a lot of deterrence.
Like, I can't step in
you
there.
Can't go there. No, ahlangana nengamla phela. Amaphoyisa ahlangana now, for instance, usendaweni wrong.
And you think about it, that's where this whole territorial thing ends. Like, and then you get into trouble because now they are protecting their territory and the vice versa. It was just a mess, man.
I mean, I think the apartheid government did a number on us. I mean, this seclusion and the Group Areas Act, it also created something within the people. We ended up not wanting each other. We were not interested.
Till today, there's still elements of this today. Even today, there's still those elements,
So sad,
because it's that's how they do things. When abantu bashaya apartheid, they do it with generational.
Subliminal. And it's so subconscious because engraved in people's
in
minds.
your brain, yes.
I mean, you'll find them when they talk. I mean, those darky guys. Even when we talk as well, like those bushies and everything.
So
it's all engraved in here. As much as we try to integrate and everything, we need to try harder.
Was there any?
Abantwana bamaKhaladi. Khona laba bangathi bamix in
Cape Malays. Manje nangu la beke surrounded ngawe esikolweni.
Plus ngapha light skin
yellow bone.
I was often mistaken for being colored.
Uzwa yabona nazo. Iqale lapho writing yakhe, So obviously, I mean, then what did you want to become?
I like that question. So I'd like to try and get in a little bit. Hold on, let me project my voice.
You're the man with the voice.
So I like the question. So I'd like to maybe try and pull it back to family, at home, brothers and sisters, parents, what kind of home do you come from? And did your parents maybe tell you when you get to a certain age, or once you finish school,
No, I don't come from a family like that. My father was not much of a talker. My mom was a housewife for a very long time actually, up until the late 90s. However, there was never talks of, I would like for you to be such, when you grow up. But was mostly influenced by where my father used to work. So he used to work for a law firm, which is now Weber Wenzel Bowens.
Oh, okay.
Growing up, I thought my dad was a lawyer. Wow. Honestly, because he always wore a suit.
Oh, yeah.
And, during school holidays, he will take me to work with him. But we will drive around a lot. Going to court, going to Pretoria court and everything.
Oh, wow.
So in my mind, I was like, I really want to be a lawyer because these lawyers that he was working with, I mean, the partners there and the attorneys, they were driving the latest cars and they were always dressed sharp,
Dignified.
in suits, you know. When they see me and they'll give me money, and I was like, I think I want to be
This is it.
one of
Yeah,
these guys,
yeah.
you know. So there was never really a conversation about that.
Yeah.
You know, so I really aspired to be an attorney.
To an attorney.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah,
Okay.
but then so you have sisters, brothers.
Yes, I do. I do.
You're coming from a small or big family.
No, a big family. A family of 8. 4 girls, 4 boys. So I'm the eldest of the boys.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ish, the pressure, especially the time that you were born.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sure you
man,
had to
yeah.
take a lot of lead after, so that you take care of your own people once you got out of school and stuff.
Funny enough, I didn't grow up in that much of a very formal kind of family environment. My dad was very much hands-on. And I was a bit of a loose cannon because I wanted to be all over the place, you know.
Yeah.
Growing up in Mfulo, you can imagine, in the township, you want to own a car quickly.
Yeah.
You don't understand that it comes at a cost and everything. At the same time, I want to be a DJ. At the same time, I want to work. I want to be responsible. At the same time, I want to study. So I was all over the place. You know. So, and I never had an older brother who would sit me down and say, "Hey, dude, listen. We need to structure your things systematically.
Come down a bit.
Come down a bit. Yeah, you got to start here and then progress to this." So I had to experiment most of the things by myself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
So basically, then you ended up being the example then to go forward for your siblings. Did they,
I
especially
can
as
say
the
that.
older
No,
brother.
don't be modest. You can be because your younger brothers really look up to you. You know, they're like,
they do, definitely they do. I think it ended up that, but I suppose it would happen that way. I mean, the apple never falls far from the tree.
True.
So I mean, direct or indirect, they were gonna look up to me. Which okay, if our older brother is doing this, that means this is the right route
the right way,
to
right?
go. You know, so yeah,
Was there any of them who ended up maybe into the music industry by any chance?
they all are.
they all
So that answers it.
answers the question, right?
Answers the question.
It really answers it. So they really had to follow the
He's the biggest example in the
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
You must be like ulinda kuspork.
Ngasipho.
Yeah.
Ngiyambona ukuthi wena unjani. Ngithi
No, big shout out to you, man.
Yeah, man, and big
Yeah,
shout
man.
out to his younger brothers, man, and they're doing amazing work. They're amazing DJs, man. You know,
Yeah.
and you usfagile scale I can see.
Yeah, well, I tried.
You tried, right?
Even though it came at a cost.
Tell us more.
Man, vinyls would get lost, equipment would get damaged,
Hey.
and everything. But hey,
It is what it is.
It is
right?
what it is.
But it's also part of their journey, to
Of
learn
course,
the value of things,
Yeah.
Once they get older, they will when they get older, that's when you realize.
Yeah.
Njengompopa ngithi beshisa ama-mixer.
Yeah,
Until he had his own mixer.
yeah. You know, like actually, ngathi ngiyamosha.
Moshe yam, and then repent.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, when does the idea of I actually could be a DJ start coming around? Is it in high school? Is it
What did you see?
after school? What is it that said actually ngazuthi?
It was in high school. It was in high school. I used to DJ the pageants in high school on a cassette.
So you had consciously made a decision then, Guti, I'm actually going to start collecting music and on based on the inspiration that you used to
At these nightclubs that we went to.
So in high school you were now going to these
Yeah,
boarding
the
school
matinees at boarding school. Yeah, I mean, I would jump the fence.
on a Saturday.
They knew. Linda was never around on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Never.
Let's mukazi
Out,
lapha.
Yeah, no, I
One
was
man,
out.
Puma jump if I.
Yeah,
Good.
I would. And then later,
Mophasa mara esikolweni kodwa nje ukwenza lento.
well, I've had my, my humps because of my attitude.
Because of your
you know,
attitude, yeah.
However, I don't regret any of it because I loved it. I mean, remember now, I made new friends at Westbury, these colored friends of mine.
Yes.
So they would organize a taxi. And now I have to sit here at boarding school with
Yeah.
Pap and Vors.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
man. So
Aspange.
I would go out, and then later on in the whole thing, my friend, I get to join me.
Yeah.
So-
Shout out to yeah.
Then, we started going to these places.
Okay,
Yeah.
so spending time in those nightclubs kind of made you decide, I actually could do this.
It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
So if I take you back, before I started the nightclubs, I remember there's an aunt of mine who had a kitchen party.
Okay.
So I used to collect cassettes.
Yeah.
There was an older guy, same street as mine, Fortune. He used to get cassette tapes from Ukanyani.
Yeah.
And then I would get the tape from him. So, and I will then have my duplicate.
Oh, yeah.
So I would have my own collection.
Yeah.
So when my aunt had when you are the family DJ, with the hi-fi, and then, however, I've always had that thing, which is there needs to be a sequence when I play. So I remember I borrowed a tape deck, I can't recall from who, which I connected to an Iowa compact system.
Right.
Because I could cue my next song from the tape deck
Yeah.
and then play it on the Iowa. And then obviously go back, then put in the headphone on the tape deck, rewind, get my song right, sharp.
Or as the next one.
As the next one. Yeah. So I've always loved having order. When playing the music. And once people dance, I wanted to try and keep them like that, exactly, for a bit longer. So
that's dope, man. I like these innovative ways of, because I hear different stories, and UX will attest to this, the different stories from the different DJs on how, because a majority of them started with tapes. So Abanye, they could control the pitch, they could mix both tracks. Some, like now I'm hearing a new story about queuing your songs. It's the creativity behind that makes you the DJ that you are now.
True.
Because you hear very minimal horse from a lot of you guys, because it started then, shy numbers are in a sequence, and whatnot. So you then had your first gig. I can safely say your first gig was that kitchen party.
That kitchen party, yeah.
And that kind of said to you.
Yeah.
It said to you.
I was like, I love this.
Do you remember what year is this?
I think that was 1980.
What?
89.
His first gig is 1989.
1989, first gig, Baba.
It wasn't a paid gig.
But it's still a gig, bitch. It's still a gig.
Listen, there's people who DJ today who don't get paid.
Who don't get paid.
Yeah, well,
and they've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
No, it's understandable.
I mean,
it happens.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay. So now you're into this journey now. You obviously are not collecting vinyl. You still have a lot of music on tape, right?
Yeah, just on tape.
How do you get exposure to vinyl now?
Errol Shabalala and Kanyani Shabalala.
Right.
Yes. So we would go to Ukanyani. Then the first time I met Ukanyani, Errol needed something from Kanyani, so we went to Middlelands. So here's the, because I always used to hear about this Kanyani, or about Kanyani is DJing somewhere or anything. Then I got there. He's busy there. The turntables there, and that DJ M500. Oh, Linda, okay, sharp and everything. And I was like, I need to know this guy. And Errol would have their own feuds, and then imagine I'm in the middle. Now I can't go to Kanyani. I was like, I'm going to acquaint myself to this guy. Started following Kanyani around.
Wait. Don't just
I knew he was going to stop.
Skating.
I knew he was going to stop. Let's go.
You can't be skating through such cool stuff.
Right. There are feuds.
There are more feuds.
No, look, I mean, Kanyani and Errol, they've got the same mentality. But they needed each other in as much as Bibanga Ngengane.
Okay.
So Errol was this electrician also who could make speakers, my MTL2 and everything.
Yes.
But Kanyani had a lot more music collection than what Errol did, and he was much more seasoned. And also he had this good business going, Yamakase. So they would disagree, and also their disagreement actually would last for months, and then they'll be back again talking. But Minamaj, it was affecting me because now I need to be close to this guy.
Your affiliation is
No, there's a story. It's a QT. Kabzela.
Yes. So I think they have this thing of spotting talents like this talent belongs to me.
But the talent always finds themselves in between the two.
Yes.
Because yakhumbula ukuthi uKhabzela bekathethisa uQT ukuthi ubloma
noKanyani is like
So you also had that issue where you were caught in the crossfire.
Well, we wouldn't have that issue, Errol, a lot because I was very sneaky. Just to put it that way, I would just leave Errol and then I would go find Kanyani and then slowly got into Kanyani. But then obviously then he picked up. You knew Ulinda Log
Errol.
He wouldn't really entertain it. So now I learned there, which you know what,
Indaba zabo.
Angwajoini ama-fight abanye abantu.
Yeah.
I mind my own.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Oh, okay. So you started spending time Nokanyani.
Yes, and learning from him. Sometimes you'll find him up busy, you know, recording his tapes and everything.
Ngizwile lapha umpopo athi bekanokuphuma umpopo bekanokuphuma azilule lapha edethi
Actually cute ngapha.
Yes.
Besathi ejinale cassette lakho limoshi tape.
Yeah, you know, so yeah, man, it was very much inspiring. And as time went on, I remember Kanyane would say, mix the song, for argument's sake. But he would listen, you know.
Yeah.
No.
This is on vinyl.
You're not mixing it the right way.
On vinyl.
On vinyl, you know. So there's a lot of guidance that I've gotten from him as well.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from him as well, yeah.
When do you start buying your own music now?
I started buying my own music in 1995.
Right.
95, 96. That's when I started buying my own music.
Where were you going?
Kohino, I went to look and listen, and then Groovy Records at that time, remember, it was shutting down.
Yeah.
Because what I remember
Records,
is...
Orange Groove, right?
Orange Groove,
Shout out
yes.
to DJ Christos, man.
Yeah.
And that Topi, who's that other old man?
Prawili.
Prawili. Shout out to Prawili, man.
And then, but most of my music I bought at House Africa in Soweto.
Down the road. Yeah.
Okay, let's say before Soul Candy.
Before Soul Candy, it was House Africa.
Yeah.
House Africa, definitely. And Kohino. Because there was a lot of stuff that was still available at Kohino. It's just that House Africa came on so strong that most people didn't know about Kohino. And Look and Listen was also going down. So there was a lot of stuff that I got from Look and Listen in Hillbrow as well as Kohino. Yeah.
Wow, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I personally, when I used to go to Kohino, would probably just to see if I can't find any hip hop or whatever, but I didn't go there consciously thinking we would find house music.
You had to dig. I mean, it was mostly house and acid as well. I mean, the likes of Black Box. I got my Black Box from Kohino. You know, so yeah, you had to dig.
I didn't know that. Wow, man. So now, you know, you're starting to develop a nice collection, right?
Yeah.
Are you still in school? Or is this
I'm still in school. Funny thing is, I started working at a very early age.
Yeah.
95, I started working at a retail store.
Oh, nice.
Fruits and Veg Spa in Lindest.
Also,
because I've always...
when I was cheese. Sebenze Lindest. 95.
And you can imagine, Magafika Spanapang, Spani Lindest.
95.
Yeah.
Ngapha nesingamla sikhipha ngamakhaya.
Yeah, man. I mean, Westbury already. Ek praat 7 Afrikaans.
Afrikaans. Jabulisa belungu.
Yeah, I speak Afrikaans.
What the hell?
I speak fluent Afrikaans.
Is daar bietjie wat jy kan sê nou vir ons?
Ek het nou klaar iets gesê.
Eish.
Leicester.
Pan.
Leicester van verstaan.
So yeah, man. Look, I don't come from a rich family.
Right.
It would be a lie if I say I come from a poor family. However, my mom and my dad held it down. But I come from a family whereby I couldn't just get what I want as and when I want it. You know, if you remember back then, the pressure of having All-Star, you know, Rosmoda,
West.
Exactly.
Abazali bevele nje bahlanye
Expensive. Yeah.
So I felt I want to ease the burden. You know, let me find myself something to do on weekends. And so there was this lady I met. She doesn't stay far from the Westbury, the school. So she used to work at Spa. She was like, I'll find you something for weekends. And I was like, cool, what's your fruits and veg? I don't mind. I'll do it. Then I started earning my own money. And then from there, I was like, okay.
So this is just like naturally something that you were like, no, I'm just going to do.
Yeah.
It's not that you were like, I saw someone doing it, I looked up to them.
No.
That option came and you took it.
I took it.
At home, did it sit well with your folks having to tell them what niyasebenza in school?
Well, they didn't know for some time.
Oh, and
they didn't know for some time. But except boarding school, but at school they didn't have a problem because then I was honest with where I was going.
I'm going to work.
But now also I could fund my club nights.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, you know?
And ayikho imali emnandi njengemali esebenzile.
Uyisebenzele yakho ngithi. Yeah. So, but then you were buying music then, so...
Yeah, and that's when I started, actually not at Spa. Then I started buying music when I moved to CNA. So I was not working for CNA exactly. So I was working for Teltron, which is a photo lab.
Okay.
So the photo labs were... Yes, they were in CNAs and Clixes.
Okay.
So when I got to CNA, then that's when I met, remember meeting Christos there. They were coming there to buy some stationery and everything. And I was like, okay. And I remember seeing...
Did you know who he was?
I knew who Christos was because I've seen his pictures before.
Oh.
You know, the bashes, Metunsa and everything with the...
And he still had a ponytail.
He still had a pony, yes. And that's when I was like, oh, okay. But now, if I buy these records, where am I going to play them? Oh, there's Errol. I know I'm going to start by... Because now when I went to him, I used to use his own.
Oh, yes.
So I needed to have my own.
Your own.
Now that I can earn a little money, and I started going to find my own records, going into town, then your Kohinos, like I said, you know, and then House Africa religiously.
Yeah. So were you going straight when are you... Because I was buying CDs, occasionally vinyl, but a lot of CDs. So when you went straight to vinyl?
I'll be honest, I never bought CDs.
Nice.
I never bought CDs. I always used to... The older guy, Fortune, from the same street, he had a better sound system than what I had at home. I had a crappy system. It was a Tempest. So he had a Sony system. He was the one who was buying CDs.
Shout out to Tempest.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Shout out to Tempest. It really made you what you are.
No, it made me who I am.
Yeah.
So I would go to him, whatever CD that he has, I would dub it onto tape.
Oh,
then I would have it.
Okay.
I never went out to buy CDs.
But actually, cassette collection na kubeshis.
Man, I had a hot cassette collection.
Sure.
I had a hot one.
Yeah.
So what did you
still
prefer?
have those?
Those 60s or the 90s? The TDK.
I didn't care much. Really,
That's
I
as long
would
as you
buy
got
the
them.
TDK. I preferred the TDK, but I remember I once discovered. Remember the Sony cassette tape, which had the Dolby and R as well?
Yes.
Expensive.
Oh man, those were expensive.
Though,
The sound was
man.
magic on those ones.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
But so then I like where this is going, you know, because I think at a very early age when you pretty much determine, but you know what, if I'm going to make this work, mailing is bambeling is you know.
Yeah, sure.
Started buying music. So moya go errol we are because of you test the music or you wanna just practice.
Test the music and practice, of course, so that this thing is here, you know, in my hands. And I would leave my vinyls mostly with error, you know, because I didn't even have a case.
Yeah.
The
collection.
The collection era error there.
Okay.
So I would leave them there because then that's when we started working together, doing the weddings and stuff. So when we go to gigs on weekends, I'll come back from work, take a taxi straight to a case.
Yeah.
And then into the van.
Yeah.
Then we go whether it's a 21st, whether it's a street bash, anything.
So eskela manje uzothukuphi?
I'm home.
Oh, you went.
I actually pretty much ruled myself to a certain extent.
I was control now when eskela, unlike the other kids, when you have control,
man.
It's eskela as and when you want.
Yeah, it had to happen.
When do you start gigging on your own?
Gigging on my own, I started when I was at Wits Tech. Because that's when Nangiti then met about Spice, introduced to the reg farm.
What happened though? Because
farm,
when I went to a vet, the only way that I thought Uting Zongena is by going to TWR, right? Was that the same journey for you?
Look,
because when I'm thinking, we are Sono music.
Yes.
So
when I went there, I was already playing. Me and Errol, we also did our high school events as well. Mama cassette tapes.
So high school.
So yes, I was actually the first president of the SRC at Westbury High.
This guy. Mashallah, man. I like this. Yeah. So now they know how Linda is. Yeah.
So I did everything. If there's a function, Miss Westbury, I'm the one who's in charge.
Right.
I'm the DJ. I organize the sound. I arrange everything.
Yeah. So you take that over. Now you go to a Wits Tech.
I took that with me to Wits Technical.
Did you join in TWR?
No, I didn't join SRC. I actually joined the radio committee.
Yeah, TWR,
Radio TWR,
Yeah. Hey, the politics in that radio station.
It was too much. Man. It was too much.
I remember I used to, when I was there, they said to me, it's okay radio show, but you have to usebenze behind the scenes. So I was the guy besime gateini makuna ama bash.
Yes.
So abantu bayangena.
Yeah.
because I wanted my way in. And Abo Fistas then were the guys, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Abo Fistas, I remember, but they were based at Doornfontein.
At Doornfontein.
Radio TWR Doornfontein was already functioning.
Yeah,
actually, that's how I met Fisters, actually.
Yes.
Technicon, Doornfontein.
Doornfontein, because there was a studio.
There was a studio there.
Yes.
So we needed a studio in Auckland Park.
Yeah.
So then we were sponsored by Coke, actually.
Right.
I don't know where the money went to. So Coke sponsored for us to get equipment. We got equipment. There was also a big fuss in terms of the equipment. Mina, I wanted SL1200s.
Yeah.
I remember there was Zakes Manaka, who was also my colleague.
Yeah.
Zakes didn't understand anything about turntables. He went and bought my PT2000s.
Oh, yes.
I hated them.
You know why? Because they were cheaper.
They were cheaper, yeah.
No,
They
man.
look like it's the same thing.
I was not buying it. I was not buying it because I knew the money was there.
Yeah.
So they had to buy SL1200s. You understand?
Because of your
Gemini mixer. I remember we
Yes.
bought a 626, the black one.
Right.
I can't remember the amps and everything. So now, these guys were keeping the money.
Yeah.
And they didn't care what the sound system looked like.
Yeah, just as long as...
What else we need to get and everything. So, got pissed off, man, with that. And I was like, you know what, they can just go. I'll find my other way of doing things. You know? So I left them with that. It never actually took off.
Really?
The radio TWR, Auckland Park. It never took off.
Never took off because there was no studio. But there was the sound equipment.
The sound equipment was
it
there and it got stolen.
Was it because you left? That's why it didn't work? Or is it because they stole
I don't know.
the sound?
Miraculously, I left and the sound got lost.
Oh, wow.
And they didn't even investigate you.
I don't know. They tried maybe, but they didn't find anything.
They didn't find anything. I feel evidence.
That's as cut is a garage ka error.
Simple somewhere.
Don't know anything about that.
Were you close? Were you close to DJ Libby?
Very close to DJ Libby. We stayed BC Broadcasting Court together. Yeah. So we were
Sorry, I missed
Yes.
Guti. What is it that you were studying at that time?
At that time, I was studying retail management.
Right.
Yeah.
So nhlale PC
Studied PC. Yeah, we were actually the first occupants of PC
Jeez,
when
guys.
it was bought by TWR.
TWR.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, obviously, there's ESRC. There's you guys. How did the relationship then get formed? Ukuthi, you know, when there's events, we will coordinate our events together because obviously they're not meeting your demands in terms of what you want. But were you still working together, Namachita?
Look, Mina, I was a very social guy.
Yeah.
I'll find my way in.
Okay.
You know, so I was never really enemies with anyone, but I always tried to acquaint myself with as much people as possible. You know, well, yeah, Big Mobile helped. You know,
we start niplomela like in a car.
Yeah, I mean, also being from Soweto, you know, you had to know who is who in the zoo.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And also loving music so much, I mean, being a big fan of Metro, YFM. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I go to every party. And also going to Abotando, when Mbuso was a resident DJ there.
Yes.
And shout out
to DJ
man.
Mbuso at
The
Tando,
ladies
man.
would want a lift from me and everything. And some of them were in the SRC.
Yeah.
You know? So I acquainted myself. And then I made sure that I know when there was going to be a bash, a freshers or anything like that. Then I'll offer to play the opening. You know, I'll play the opening. Then I knew that's where I'm going to meet Oskido, you know, the freshes. You know, the Sabities.
So that's how you made friends with these guys.
Yeah, that's how I made friends with these
Led
guys.
to your mad half hours. You did make the mad half hour.
I never played the mid half hour.
Really?
Honestly.
Wow.
I never played the mid half hour.
And you're not mad?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think I've always been like that. There are certain things that I choose not to compete on, or not to participate on. I listened to the mid half hour from the very first time it started when it was Vinny.
Yes.
But I just felt, sharp. I'm going to go there and play for 30 minutes, and then what after that? I want more. I want to be in there, but I just didn't have the time to go and sit at bedrooms, follow around other DJs like Usbu did. You know, I mean, obviously, if you want to be somewhere, you had to be persistent. But I didn't have the time for that because I worked, And at the same time, I had my whole other things that I wanted to do. So I didn't have time to go and sit a YFM for the whole day to get an opportunity to see Kazela or anything like that. No.
I'm one of those who was always chilling there.
Yeah.
You're never getting a job.
It paid off. It paid off. Do you understand? I don't regret not doing it.
Yeah.
But me and myself, I didn't have the time.
It was a standard. Yeah, you just said to yourself, well, I'm not going to do
this. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Apart from Freshers Bash, where were you gigging then around then?
Then I did a lot of house parties around Auckland Park, Student Village. Yeah, it was a lot of those, and then mostly no Errol. And then around. I remember, I think in the early 2000s we were residents at the Rock, Randburg Waterfront.
Randburg. That's where I would meet you. Like
I played a lot there. I was there religiously. The Rock. Yeah.
Wait, so I just wanted to go back a bit, a couple of steps. You're saying Mad Half Hour was started by Vinny
was the first DJ. Was the first DJ to be featured on the Mad Half Hour. Fresh was the host.
Okay, so what was it? So Vinny was competing.
No, he was not competing.
He went there because think about it, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Because Fresh used to do the Mad Half Hour I1, but it got to a point where he would get tired and sometimes he wouldn't want to play. Okay. So then he started doing features, and at the first feature, like he said,
was Vinny Da Vinci.
Yeah. Oh, so you heard that first feature and you were like,
no, I listened to the Mad Half Hour. I mean. I would learn a song or two there. I loved it, and a skill or two. I loved it. I listened to it, but I never participated. Like you would know, I don't do a lot of mixes on radio. I don't. I choose not to. I want a whole radio show. You know, if I can't get that, then fine, I'll wait my turn.
Until
you understand? Because I just don't see the value. It's okay, not disrespect to the people that finds value in it. You go to the radio station, you play that 25 minutes. Yeah, this was Brian Black and everything. Sharp, you're gone. That's it. You're on your own. Did you ever receive a booking from any of the features that you've done?
Well,
you know, it's questionable. You understand? Consistency. Sometimes you can't change so much so rapidly. It's okay to give other people a chance, but at least maybe say give Brian Black rather a month residency, so that he gets value from that. You know, and then after that. Wax and then Linda. At least that's something for me.
But then think about this, right? Because the ultimate prize for Mad Half Hour was getting an opportunity to release a compilation, right? And it's like an elimination process.
Was that maybe came a bit later on into the show?
That came a bit later on the show. I mean, that's when investors started coming in, and if you remember, that's when the DJ competition started. The Makoyas, and the Smirnoff experiences. Yes, because now. The clientele was growing. And remember, the time was different then. YFM was growing rapidly, like wildfire. You understand? Now you've got this. And then there was this whole lot of music which was sitting there. And then that's when then the compilation market started.
Right.
You know, the licensing of these compilations and everything.
So that's actually dope.
Yeah, man.
So am I stretching it if I'm saying, Guti, you were scared of these other DJs?
No, I was never scared. Honestly, I was never scared. I just felt I wanted more. I'm a big dreamer. In as much as I may not say it much, you know, like Brian, we would talk about certain things. He knows. I'm very much opinionated, but I choose who I raise my opinions with. You know, so I was never really scared, but I was always open to learn from the other DJs. I mean, about Koti, when they got there about Easter, and I felt like, hey, pack that there. So from so far, let's hear what is he going to play there. And funny enough, he dominated. You know, so yeah, I was like, okay, cool. And you know, funny enough that you mentioned the fear of it. I've never even competed in a DJ competition. I've never really competed in a DJ competition, honestly. I've just never had the interest.
You just want to do your thing.
I just wanted to do my thing and be consistent with it. You know?
You're good at it.
But if I really had to, then I would do it. You know, I would do it. But I just have never had the interest.
So now, paint me a picture in your mind. What are you thinking at that time? Are you thinking, I'm very good at this shit. I don't need to compete or to prove it. What is it that you're thinking? Are you thinking, nah, I don't have time for this?
I would actually criticize them by myself. I don't think he should have mixed it right there. He missed the mixing point. So I'd be like a commentator by myself, you know. So then I would be the change that I wanted to see in that DJ.
Okay.
So it really inspired me a lot, because then when I go back and play, I'd be like, oh, he played this song.
I don't
have that song. Let me find it. Okay, let me see how I can do this mix. I think you should have done it this way. Then I'll put it into practice. You know, and then that's how I would better myself.
Right.
Instead of going out there to compete openly.
Yeah. So your fear actually worked for you, because then you were stealing ideas from the from the radio.
Not the saddest thing, I was influenced. So yeah, it worked.
I'm just bullshitting. I get it.
Yeah, man.
Now, I mean, obviously now, you know, I can safely say you're established. You're moving around the circles, and obviously Iskolo comes to an end. Now you need to enter the working market, right? What was that job that you had after Eskela, where you said, okay, sing your spana, manje, sing your DJ, or did it just go straight into DJing?
I've always worked and DJed. Always.
Okay.
Always. I think you would recall, I used to work for Levi's, South Africa.
Yes, yeah.
So I got very much involved in the Levi's jam tracks, promotions, you know, DJs coming to play at the store. You know, so I've always worked at DJed. After Levi's, I think my first formal job was with First National Bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
First National Bank.
What were you doing there?
I was a sales consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So I worked there.
Shaitai.
Yeah, man. I used to dress formal.
Nice. I like.
So this guy actually bekancane ukuspana.
Yeah. But think about it. I mean, itama like itama
the way
instilled it in him.
the lobbying and the dress code.
Diploma na maloya, spana na maloya, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I always thought a guy has always got to have a job.
Yeah.
Have to work all the time.
Right.
That's nice, man. I think we should give a big shout out to your
dad, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's my role model. Man.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, man.
Yeah, man.
So I want to play a little game, because it's going to take us to the next sort of a batch of questions that we want to go into, right?
Sure.
I want to mention 3 names, right? And in these 3 names, I want you to give me the first thing that comes to mind, right? First thing. First name, Thebe Lenyor.
Oh, man. Fun. Fun, crazy fun.
Okay.
That's what comes to mind.
Right. So, Thebe, your relationship, no Thebe, you guys are quite tight, right?
Yes, we are.
If there's one thing I admire about that guy, and tell me if I'm wrong, right, is his sense of being relevant. He is relevant to this day. Thebe will perform in a festival and he will blow people's minds away. A lot of his peers are not performing as much, right? He is relevant. I call him the Snoop Dogg of South Africa. I call him the Busta Rhymes of the South Africa, because he's so relevant, right? He's sustained himself from the early 90s right up until here. And you guys are friends. How did you meet Thebe?
I met Thebe, funny enough, through a friend of mine from Durban. So he had booked Thebe, and then it happened that we end up in the same space. I've always known him obviously as an artist, Bude, you know. And then that's when we got to engage. And then we clicked from there, you know. So yeah, man, I mean, fun. You look, Thebe, you know, stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Before an artist or anything, that's a family man.
Yeah.
You know,
you can even see with his posts, man.
One of the guys that has taught me the values of having a family, being stable, you know, certain you can see him dancing and everything and think he's just all play. No. That guy has a serious side of
himself, right?
And I'm very happy for him. He stood the test of time, doing well for himself.
Remained relevant, man.
And I can't really name them all, but I've learned a lot from him.
Yeah. So you guys do that move.
Yeah, we've got our own signature dance that he invented.
Yeah, shout out to Thebe Lenyor.
Shout out to Lenyor, and naye bekancane ngokufaka ihembe ebhrukweni.
Nokanyani
naye bengumazi ngazo.
But that was the era. If you look at it, back in the day, we were gentlemen. You understand? And now 21st yakho, you want to dress up, Soweto, whatever, you know, tuck in. You know, you used to be neat. We were not casual people. We were not, you know, used to this casual look.
Yeah, man. All right, moving along. Okay, second person.
Yeah.
DJ Kanyan.
Hosi. Oh, man. A mentor, a brother that I've never had. Yeah, man. Those are the two things that comes to mind.
Yeah.
One person that I'm very much free when I'm with. He knows me in and out.
Yeah. Your relationship spans from those early days, right?
Yeah, those early days.
And I mean, from the outside, I could only, I thought Kaninazana Kona manje, but
No.
learning your story now, it's like you've known this man for a while, man,
Yeah. And he's the reason I landed a job at Sony Music in 2005.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Very good brother, man. I think
Yep.
he's made his story say to Ekasi to be what
To this
it
day.
is. You know what I'm
To
saying?
this day, we still work together.
Shout out to DJ Kanyan. And
Yeah.
you guys roll together like hectically now,
Yeah, all the time.
Oh,
Is
so,
there like
so is your buddy.
Yeah.
are you rolling as friends or are you just rolling as are you
We
behind
roll
something?
as colleagues, as friends.
Are you working together?
Yeah, we're working together.
Right.
We're busy with his single right now and my single as well. So yeah, we're
nice.
busy.
Okay, we'll get into the single later, right? Okay. Third person.
Uh-huh.
Mpomageta.
Oh, Papa Ramba, man. May his soul rest.
Yeah, man.
May his soul rest in
Eish,
peace.
boy, that was his favorite phrase. He was my boss at Sony Music. So, Papa Rampa, he was a very funny guy, a very problematic guy.
Yeah.
However, Papa Rampa, I've known him even before Sony.
Right.
Papa Rampa used to work for Share.
Share
Yes.
music.
So, when Papa Rampa got a job at Sony, he then opened up the position for Umzura.
Umzura, yes.
So myself and Mzura were working together under Ziawamo Productions.
Yeah.
So we were consulting for different record labels.
Okay.
Carlo, Sony. Yeah. And then Papa Rampa, we used to do stuff for him. Remember when they did the Kanyani House Grooves, one with Endemol
Oh, yes,
and everything.
yes.
So
Yeah.
myself and Mzura were the ones that were doing the promotions.
Oh.
And then when Papa Rampa left Share to go to Sony,
Yes.
Mzura then came into Papa Rampa's position.
A share.
A share.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, man. And then fast forward down the line, 2005, Papa Rampa was then the marketing manager for Hater Records, which was under the umbrella, Sony PMG.
Right.
And that's when then I got the post there.
Oh. What was that post that you got at Sony Music?
I was a regional manager.
Okay.
So I used to handle the Northern Cape, the Northwest, Lesotho, Botswana, and what else? Yeah, I think those were the regions that I was handling. Those were the regions that I was handling. If I might be forgetting some, but also used to handle the African language stations as well as the community radio stations. Yeah.
Pomageta, aka Papa Rampa.
Yeah.
Man. What do you think you would have been doing now, man? That guy.
Papa Rampa. Maybe he would be somewhere, because his last job he was with Power FM, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Paul would be heading something big, in the entertainment. Entertainment was his life, Entertainment was Paul's life. I mean, if you remember, he used to do the Savannah Lemon Revolution parties.
Yes,
His birthday parties were huge. So yeah, he was a big time party guy.
Dude, yeah, may his soul rest in peace,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Papa Rampa, So, I mean, with these names, I mean, I'm dwelling into a track record here, Sony Music, I think for you, and correct me if I'm wrong here, exposed you to a lot of interactions with just like the vast music industry as a whole. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yes, you are. Actually, that's when I learned how things works in a major record label. Also interacting with big artists. Also understanding the dynamics of radio, the sampling, the in-market promotions. Label copies. And also understanding the collecting societies like your Samros, your Sampras, Risas, Capasos. That's where I started learning all those things at Sony Music.
You've got this wealth of knowledge when it comes to the music industry, and in today's industry, where do you think there's a disconnect? Because I personally feel like there's a disconnect between majors and independents.
Well, I don't think it's a disconnect per se. I think it's growth. Remember, now people have access to information from the palm of their hands. Back in the day, you needed a record label to sign you, to print and distribute your material, market your material, But now, digital service providers gives you that at a very small percentage. However, that does not make the record labels null and void, because they still have the footprint and they've got more budget that they can use
that is true.
on your product and you as well.
So to an upcoming producer, DJ, would you still recommend that they go through a major, or would you say stick to being independent? Because
all right, I'll have to elaborate my answer. The choice lies with the artist. However, this is show business. Remember, we are at a time whereby you first need to prove yourself that you are worthy of being signed by a record label. So, nothing wrong with a young upcoming artist to first pursue certain things. Record. I mean, studio equipment now is available at every back room, even Nasekas. Do that track. Have that track out there. You've got all these social media platforms where you can market and promote your songs. Sending your songs onto radio or anything like that. Radio even goes out to social media to find new tracks or the most trending tracks. Then the record labels now also views the same platforms to see who is hip and happening out there. When the record labels come to you, they will then come with an offer. That's okay, fine, you are here, Brian. We can take you to this step. Then yes, now you can make a business-to-business decision whereby this will take your career further. Then you go to a record label.
Does that not make the majors lazy in terms of sourcing out talent? Because now they are saying, do the work. Okay, no, we are worthy enough, let's take you on.
All right. To answer your question, both of you, there is still A&R representatives
at a major, all right,
and even with the independent record labels, there is A&R people, that deals with sourcing talent. So, with me saying that an upcoming artist which has not been spotted by the A&R people or by the major or anything, you need to expose yourself out there. Now you've got platforms which don't necessarily cost you anything to expose yourself, which has made now things even easier for A&R to source artists, because now it's no longer about going out there to that club or to that festival or to that session, Yama Sundays, wherever, where you have to listen carefully who sings nice or anything. But if you can sit on your social media platform, you are bound to find someone there and be like, there's something there. You understand what I mean? So there are no limits now. Unlike before, back then, you had to be identified or be recommended by someone that, hey man, there's this guy or there's this girl, but you really need to hear her.
Even then, you get there and you're like, well, it's not exactly what I was looking for. Or it could just be the opposite, right?
I always say, just to answer you on that one, we all have different views when it comes to talent. I may like Wax's voice. You might not. And I might be wrong as well, because that will only be proven when that project blows. It happens in the music industry. There's a lot of executives that have made mistakes by thinking, I don't think this is going to work. And yet somebody else who is passionate about it and who believes in it will make it work.
So in essence, you're saying social media and the platforms that we have here make that job easier, because now the exposure is wider. So it doesn't necessarily rely on Ulinda, who's an A&R for a Sony, to say, I'm giving him a tick. The public speaks and says, we like Wax. We like Wax.
I mean, the sharing on the social media platforms, you no longer have to record a cassette tape or a demo, go drop it off at Sony, Galo or Universal and never get feedback whether it made it or not. Exactly. Sometimes it doesn't even get to be listened to. But if you do something, do your a cappella, on your TikTok page or anything like that, somebody relevant is bound to see that.
So, Linda, what's the point of having a major then?
The point of having major record labels, if you remember, every major record label came to every territory to exploit the music in that territory. So
I like the choice of words.
So having a major record label as an artist has its benefits. It has its benefits. They've got more money. They've got more footprint. You know, they can invest more in your career and otherwise. But it should not be your first go-to because it's very tricky. You might go there and it might be a no for you. And that's it. You'll never know. However, you stand a better chance if you develop yourself gradually and then they can see this rough diamond and that they can take and polish and make it even better.
Nice.
You know?
I hear you.
Because you see now, you come maybe with 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
200, 500,000 followers.
Yeah.
You're coming with that already. Now they're going to give you a deal with the 500,000 followers. So they already have a reach of 500,000 people who can listen to your stuff. So you've already done half the job for them.
And you see, so that's why, I'm more inclined in you saying it's a give and take. You know, yes, you do need majors, but to a certain point, there's a point where you don't need them. Am I correct in assuming that?
I'm not saying you don't need them.
Ultimately, you do need them.
Ultimately, they hold the most market share. You know, and you know that the board members at the CMOs are the directors of the major record labels. So even at the summers, you know that most independent record labels are not recognized. You know, so to a certain extent, you do need the majors, and sometimes you don't always have to be signed as a full artist. You know, you can go there and get a licensing deal. You can go there and get a 50-50 or get a distribution deal. You know, there's a lot of deals that you can take with the majors. But at least if you are part of something that is already, you know, established.
And it puts you into a wider footprint. Right?
They have a wider footprint.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's it, and I like your answer, man. It leads me to a word that I've been seeing lately on social media, which I just need your input on, and the word is gatekeeping. First question to you is, do you think gatekeeping exists in South Africa? Whether it's in the DJing or the music fraternity, does it exist?
From my point of view, I don't think it exists. You know, I don't think there's this big black guy who's standing at the gate waiting to block you. People are busy. You know, people are busy. People are busy to focus on blocking you somewhere. You know, we're going to make sure that it doesn't come in. You need to be able to show what is it that you can present or provide there. How are you filling the gap? Because also, wherever people are being able to, you know, earn something or make a little bit of money or anything like that, they want to protect that. They're not going to go out there like the scammers who comes on social media and say, you want to be able to make so much and so quickly? Exactly. I mean, that's taboo. That's lies. But in reality, who are you? You're bright black. Okay, sharp. What are you bringing to the table? No, Mina, I think, you know, guys, I know best about podcasts or anything like that. Oh, yeah, but we need somebody like that. Okay, maybe bright black, come, let's hear what you can do. You know, yes, not all gates are going to stay open. But for you to open that gate, present something. What are you bringing there? You can't just sit there and say, no, bazos father. And it's plug.
But then, do you think there's, like you're saying now, there's that big black guy or Petit Shambok? Do you think there is something like that?
Yeah, but to what extent? To what extent do you say it's gatekeeping? Just because you are not accepted. One thing we need to realize is that you are not always going to be accepted everywhere you knock. You need to know that you are going to be rejected. You know, it's reality.
There's no entitlement at all.
Yeah,
exactly. You
do
know?
what you do, right?
Yeah, I don't think you're owed something.
You are not owed anything. If they say to you, no, Brian, we don't need you today. So that's gatekeeping. Yeah. You understand? You send a demo and we send it back to you and say, nah, we don't like it. We don't think they're gatekeeping. Our phone was faga. Do you understand what I mean? Even, like, for example, I'll use a close example us as DJs, there are certain places that never books you.
So because that's why it's going now. Because I mean, our last interview was with DJ Mpopo, and DJ Mpopo feels that there is gatekeeping in this industry, and those people don't allow certain people into a certain world. That's his opinion, right? And now I need to I want to find out from you whether you think there's something like that exists.
I still say, then what are you doing about it? If you think there's gatekeeping there, what are you doing about it? They don't want you here. You go somewhere else where they'll accept you. They don't have to like you to bring you there. Do you understand what I mean?
So in essence, what you're saying then is his focus is on a certain market, and because that market is saying, well, not now, he feels like he's being gatekept.
Yes, I think so.
Wax?
Yeah, yeah. You see, it's a bit tricky. I wouldn't really know, like we wouldn't really be able to explain further what he felt.
What he felt, yes.
Yeah, how he got gate kept, But there are instances. I think what you're saying now, at least, the answer is a bit broader now. It becomes a bit, you can see it now from different angles instead of looking at it from one angle and say, look, they're blocking me here. So what he's saying is then it's the story of the door as well. They close this door, you go to open another door. If the gate is value, then it means you need to go open another gate. But so you saying that there's no chances that you would find that all the gates are locked?
Never. That's impossible. And also remember, we are not wired the same. Some people take rejection very badly, and it affects them. I think I watched the clip. Gampopo as well. It's not nice, yes. You find guys, in this day and age, we use words very loosely, calling people legends and everything. And everything. I mean, that's a story for another day, in terms of English.
That could be today, yeah.
However, a respectable veteran from Ekasi, it deserves, obviously, a little bit of shine, to be slotted in somewhere. But now we're living in a very competitive market. Even pubs are your shop to shop or anything, for you to get a slot there, But there's nothing wrong with you going there to support the guys. Show up. Let them see you. But don't sit there and think that just because I do show up, you have a supporter, but they don't even book me. They don't owe you anything. You understand? But also go to other places,
So you have higher chances of them booking you by you mostly being there. They see you support them, than you having to expect that now that they see you, now they have to book you.
No, you've got no guarantee.
Yeah.
Showing up and supporting.
Showing up gives you a chance of being asked.
And also being known. Brian is also here. Or you're also a DJ, And also, you've got social media. If you are playing somewhere, put it out there. Let somebody see you. Be visible.
You can even tag the people that you want to book you, right?
Or even sometimes, if at some point you get to a point where gigs are really, really scarce, like it's bad, and maybe I would want to be a resident DJ. I'll use shop to shop as an example.
As an example,
Remember, the guys at shop to shop, even when they book you, they're not obliged to pay, because if they haven't even heard you for ages, you can even go there, strike a deal. Sometimes you don't always have to get paid right there and there. Strike a deal, guys. Can I just do 1 hour on this particular day here? Just so that you hear, I'm in line with your development strategies. It's okay, don't worry, I'll bring myself here.
And also to see if my music aligns with your brand.
Because sometimes sometimes blowing your own horn is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
No. You need to chill.
Because there's always someone better than you out there.
There's always
a
bigger fish out there. But sometimes then humble yourself. As hard as it can be, humble yourself. Go there. I've played a lot of free gigs. To this day, there are some gigs that I play for free. You understand?
But because there's a bigger picture,
There's a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture. You humble yourself. And then you get the exposure. You build relationships. Then you move on.
Could it be a case of personalities? Could it be, sorry, let me just repeat that. Could it be then a case of personalities that maybe some people would maybe feel if maybe they shut the door one time, or maybe they humiliate you in public?
I think that's
time.
what, that's
then
what
you
Linda is saying. You know,
and then you're like, nah, no, then I'm not gonna be put myself in that position again. But while you're sitting at home and slowly disappearing and dying, you are out of sight, then you're out of mind, and then you look at it as. They really don't. They really don't like me. Why? No one is even actually called to check how I'm doing. Yeah, it's a 50-50.
We're living in a cruel world. Nobody has time for that. Who has time to call you and check how you're doing? You need to pick yourself up, but it's also the people that you surround yourself with. Wow. You know, you need to surround yourself with people that are going to be able to say, "I'm Antoine." Okay, sharp. It is somewhere, or maybe. It is you start somewhere. You know, if you were big sometime back then, but now it's different. The market is huge. There's a lot of DJs who are far better than us, and everything. So you're not here to compete.
And good looking and young, and they've got so many advantages.
You need to find your market share. You just get your little market share there now, and then you are part of the ecosystem. That's all.
That's profound.
Profound, man.
Yeah,
Very profound, man. You know, two different opinions, you know, and they make sense, you know, and I hear what you're saying as well, because, you know, this term is being used on social media, like you're saying, so loosely lately. Gatekeeping, we're being gatekept. Someone is closing a door on us, and, you know, like you're saying now, it's not like someone is actively looking and saying, in fact, Ulinda, outingimu.
People are busy with their lives, busy trying to earn a living, making sure their things work. They don't have time, which I'm going to make sure.
I'm sure they probably
is not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're probably worrying about other people they think are gatekeeping them.
You know what I'm saying?
Busy trying to gatekeep you.
Because now they also just want to move with life, right?
Yeah, I think it boils down to personalities, which then also in the music industry or as an artist, that's why most of the time you would end up having a manager. You know, people who handle those type of
that part of the
for
business,
you.
right?
So when you just appear and just you know, just about music, because personality yakho ngathi ukuthi ayihambelani na the way I'm a promoter behave or they speak to you, or you know, like you find small things for you to have a reason to not want to work with these people. But your manager will come in there, smile with everybody, make sure that they get you that deal. So it could be personalities. Amachita says like us, like me myself. I know I've got the skills, but I'm not busy. I'm not gigging anyway. But I know I could be, I can, and it's something that I know how to do. But I'm not in that position where I put myself out there to make sure that I get to gig. So I know I'm holding myself back.
It's something that's within you.
Yeah, with intent, you know, as opposed to when you feel like bakvalele ngaphandle, but then you still hold yourself back.
Yeah, you're pushing the blame. Not bakvalele ngaphandle, they are gatekeeping. You're pushing the blame
to someone else because
you're not doing
of
anything about it. Now you say bangvalela ngaphandle. Stand up, do something about it. Go next door. Knock here. If they don't open, you go to the next door. You know.
Why did you leave Sony Music?
The digital atmosphere came, rough and hard, and then the retrenchment started in 2013. 2013. You know, the funny thing is that we knew. We've always had, Keith Lister always used to hold meetings, tell us about social media, what's happening, the piracy, you know, the development of the digital atmosphere, what's going to happen.
And what's coming.
You know, we knew about it. But it didn't mean that we had to jump ship as soon as possible. You know, I mean, one was younger then and also thought maybe we'll be able to stay on board or anything like that. But like in any other business, they had to look and see, which, okay, sharp, we're going to let go of these people and then we're going to keep these ones. Yeah. So it happened. So
could it be maybe a situation where having to move with the times, maybe you did not fit the frame of people that we're looking for, that we're actually going to move with the times, because you had to move from what it was to digital age?
Not at all. Actually, I was well aligned with the times.
Yeah.
So I think with Sony then it was a matter of personnel. They had too much personnel. Because if you recall, there was Hater, then there was Sony PMG. And then as time went on, Hater Records fell away. and it was sold to Sony BMG. And then over time, BMG decided to pull out.
Yeah.
And then it was only Sony. So now, all these employees that were there were now all under Sony Music Entertainment, South Africa.
Sure. What happened then? So you moved from Sony, and then what was your next journey?
After Sony, I worked for... I worked with Lindelani Mkhize at Contento.
Shout out to
Contento.
Lindelani.
Shout out,
Yeah, Contento Music.
Contento.
Yeah, Contento. I worked with Lindelani at Contento, and then after that I worked with Kanyani.
But now, what was your role? What were you doing?
At Contento,
now?
I was the label head. So there was a music division at Contento, so I was handling that.
So you're dealing with the artists.
I was dealing with the artist. I was the one. Actually, I was mostly A&R as well as label head. So
people don't know they don't really know the role of a label manager and how difficult it can be. A brief summary of what a label manager is supposed to do. What do you do?
Phew. As a label manager, you are responsible for the inception of the project, the recording, production, the release, the marketing plan, and the implementation thereof. So obviously with bigger record labels, it should be even more broader. So you can just imagine in a smaller record label like Contento, you have to do everything. You also have to be the A&R and make sure that the label works. You are the one who has to do the label copies. You are the one who has to make sure that the ISRC codes are in order. You are the one who has to proofread the artwork, approve it. So
much work.
You become an all-rounder. So with bigger labels, then obviously different people will be handling different labels.
Yeah.
If you are in the urban or contemporary, then you deal with that.
Yeah.
But in a smaller setting, then you have to be much more of an all-rounder.
Yeah. Did you choose to leave because of the work and maybe it was interrupting with your DJing, or was it just the...
Wait, Contento now?
Contento.
No. It was a small company, and Lindelani Mkhize had other development plans, and then he dissolved Contento. And then when he dissolved Contento, that's when I then went to Ganyan Entertainment.
Right.
And I worked with Ganyan where we did Ubatlakai, Ganyan House.
What year is this?
This is 2017, 2018?
Yeah.
Yes, 2017, 2018.
So how many years were you record head there at the other record label?
Sony?
Not the
Contento.
Contento, yeah.
Contento, it was 2014, 15, 16.
3 years.
And then so prior to that, you were at Sony for how long?
Prior to that, I was Sony since 2005.
5, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we used to frequent that office a lot, man. Yeah. It was home to us. He
Getting
had
free
the coolest
vinyls.
office, man. Getting free records and
records.
he had a turntable. That was a cool office. We'd sit there for hours, man. But yeah. So right now, I don't know, what was your involvement with Sampra?
Sampra.
Was it Sampra?
South African Music Performance Rights Association. Worked at Sampra from 2019 until 2022. Yes. I was dealing with the licensing of copyright protected music users. To explain that in layman's terms, so like retail stores, nightclubs, any business place that plays music has to have a license. Just like you have to have a DJ license, mobile DJ license and everything.
We want to talk about
So
that.
I dealt with that. So I was licensing businesses, so dealerships and everything. So I was doing that on a national level.
So was it something that was enforced by the government to make sure that these people actually follow the rule of the law?
Okay, so government is not involved. So what happens is your likes of Samro and Sampra, they get accredited by the Copyright Tribunal to collect royalties on behalf of the owners of the music.
Yes.
Yeah. The owners of your music obviously would include the artists, the record labels. That's right.
So businesses have no choice but to listen to Sampra.
Yes, they don't have a choice. I mean, if they don't, then we litigate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the litigation process is what? Collecting money?
Yeah, they litigate. I mean, when they litigate, they open it's a civil case. or it's not a criminal case, and then they'll prove that you play music at your store. This is the music that you play, and the music that you play falls under Sampra, and you've been playing this music from this time to this time, and then you'll go to court, and then you'll lose, definitely.
So what in layman's terms, what does it mean? What are you supposed to do? If you've got an establishment, what does it mean? You're supposed to play music, and then what?
Okay. Initially, when you open an establishment, I think you'll go and check, do your health and safety, do your liquor license and everything. Sampra and Samro are supposed to be on your list of those compliances.
Right.
You understand? So that when you start opening, you play your background music, or you decide to bring a DJ to play music in your place, you are compliant as well there. Remember, music is copyright protected based on the Copyright Act of 1972. So that Copyright Act protects the music owners. When you play music at your restaurant or at your nightclub or anything like that, people stay longer. A research has been done, and it has been proven. So even worse for nightclubs, it won't work without music. News cafes, Cubana, you name them, they won't work without music. Or even your restaurant, when there's no music, people eat and leave. But when there's music, people sit, converse, but listen to the background music. Shopping mall, when you walk around the shopping mall, when there's music, you become more entertained. You walk into a store, there's music, you spend more time. Do you understand? So music is always there. Music influences the spend on all these establishments, and it also creates the mood, which is why you've got telephone on hold music. You've got elevator music, you know, and everything.
Keeps you patient.
Now, what happens to the owners of that music? Because now, when you buy music, like for example, whether you download one song or you buy a CD, I'll use a CD for example. You buy that for your personal use. Personal use is what? In your house, in your car.
Actually says even on the sleeve.
It does. It does. But once you start playing it in a public space, what is a public space? A restaurant, a place of business. Do you understand? You distort it at a party or a festival. That's public distortion.
Again, so what does that mean for a venue owner? So what is he supposed to do? Because people have establishments now. They play this music. What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to jot it down? Are they supposed to go somewhere?
So what happens is, you can go into the websites, Samro and Sampra.
Right.
You download the forms, you complete the forms, you say this is your establishment. There are different establishments. I mean, there's restaurants, there's lounges, there's pubs, you know, there's exhibitions. There's also licenses for the trains, taxis, and there's different categories. Then you tick your category, you submit your form, and then they will come back to you with a quotation in terms of what your license would cost. And then you pay that, and your license will be valid for the year. The next year, you renew your license. Then life goes on.
So during that
it allows you to play the music.
Yeah, during that
allows
1
you
year,
to play the music, yes.
I shy any kind of music.
Which
Which means the establishment is compliant.
So now let's take it to the DJ license now. So a DJ is supposed to have a license, right?
Yes.
What does then that mean for the industry? So when I play music now, I'm playing music here, am I supposed to write it down?
All right. Initially, it was meant to be like that, but it would be a logistical nightmare. Do you understand? Because you change your sets depending on where you're going to play, you know, and everything. However, your DJ license, so you complete your form, you said you didn't get your DJ license figure. Which is not more than 2,500 if I stand to be corrected. But it's just around there for the whole year.
For the year.
Fact is that the music that you play, you buy from either Traxsource, Beatport, Juno, is not yours. Is owned by other people. Even if you do have your own music, your music will maybe be 5% or even 2% of your set.
Of course.
So you get paid for playing a DJ set while using other people's music, which you've taken from the original source and put it on a USB to play it where you are booked. So what happens then is that the same money that you pay to Sampra and Samra, that money gets paid back to the owners of the music. Yes. Right now, there is no system placed in each and every establishment to monitor the music. Our stereo is used. So I will pardon the deep house DJs that plays underground music, which does not necessarily play on radio. However, let's look at the most popular music, the most popular venues or anything like that. The music that plays there is music that is also available on radio, that tops the charts, that is also available on TikTok. But then also, remember the psychographics that comes from Spotify, iTunes, etc. So you are able to see that this is the song that is the most popular, and this is the song that is the least popular. So those are the statistics that are used in terms of paying out these royalties.
So, because my argument stems from, okay, let's just say, because like you say, you can pardon the deep house DJs because it's underground music. Let's just say I am a pop DJ.
Yes.
I'm doing a corporate gig.
Yes.
They like to play what they hear
Yes.
on radio.
Yes.
So what that means for me as a DJ, I've paid the 2,500 rand
Yes.
to Sampra.
Yes.
I am allowed to play that music.
Yes.
How is that music then monitored in terms of revenue for the artist?
Okay. Now, it is not monitored per DJ.
Right.
Do you understand what I mean? Because that would be a logistical nightmare.
Yes.
So your license is a blanket license approach. Because you are a pop DJ, you are an all-round DJ who plays popular music. That popular music that you play there, that's why your mobile DJ license is for Sampra. It's at like 2005 plus minus. Do you understand? It's going to be used as a blanket license. And then F stereo will then be used to determine the most played song to the least played song.
Right.
Do you understand? Just to remind you, if you go into the terms and conditions of Spotify, iTunes, even TrackSource, it tells you that in whichever territory that you are in, where neighboring rights are protected, you need to adhere and pay the license.
Pay the license.
Yeah.
Are there countries that actively monitor this, like to the T, like you're saying now, where we know that we're able to measure the sound? Because I don't think in South Africa that's being done.
Not yet. Not even abroad. Remember, that would mean a system would have to be placed in each and every establishment. That would record. But now, remember, we've got Shazam. You know, you can get the statistics. So you play whatever music that you think doesn't play on radio, but then it picks up that this was Shazammed at this place and this place. So all those stats, they are taken and put together, which will then give you an indication of what is playing where and who's playing what where.
How soon do you think that something like that would come into effect? And I mean, holistically, like through and through.
I remember my ex-boss, Fanani Lishiva. He is actively looking into something like that because it will help more in terms of the distribution of the royalties. Yes, some people's music play more than other people's music. But at this point in time, I remember he said it was really, really expensive because that means a device that would be active here. So like imagine if you had a device that has Shazam all day, all night, that feeds information of what music is played every minute, every second. And then there has to be then a center which is then going to collect that data. Do you understand? So can you imagine what kind of an exercise that would be? Now we're talking retail stores, car dealerships, taxis, aeroplanes, trains, buses,
malls.
I think possibly in the future, it's possible.
It's possible.
I think what they could, I'm not a nerd. If you're not aware, I'm not a nerd. You're from the streets. But shit, now I missed. Now I lost my point of. Or what was I gonna say? Hey,
possibly it would happen in the future.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say was that the easiest way that they could do that would be to put a system or an app or something onto your cell phones, and then wherever you are, your demographics and where the music is playing around you, then it picks up what this song was playing. But the microphone from the phone will be collecting data while you, like how they do now. Phones. Now, while we're talking about whatever we're talking about now, when you get into your social media now, it will be suggesting those things because it's listening to you. But then maybe in the future could be used to then also used for that.
Big Brother's watching, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's algorithms. I mean, that could be one. Another could be, I mean, now we've got Apple, we've got Spotify. We've got streaming services, and most places are no longer listening. Okay, if you listen to a radio station, you're exempted.
Yeah.
You will pay the license, but it's not much of a hassle because radio stations submit their cue sheets, so it's easier. However, places that don't play radio stations, they'll either stream from Spotify or whatever streaming platform,
YouTube, whatever.
So partnerships could be created with those platforms to get the statistics in terms of who plays what where and when. You know,
AI will do it. And it's
Yeah,
will do it,
we're getting
definitely,
there, right?
Yeah. So maybe some young boy has already been born that's going to create that system.
Something like that, right? Do
Yeah,
you have
man.
a DJ license?
I do. I do.
I remember there was
you renew it every year.
Yes, I have to renew it every year because, look, it's going to get to a point where there are places that you're going to go to and you're not going to be able to play.
If you don't produce
So
it.
the venue's license does not represent you. The venue license represents the venue. So I had a consultancy with Sampra, which I was doing. And I remember I had a gentleman who, he's a mobile DJ who's got his own sound. He was doing a gig at a wedding venue. When he got there, the wedding venue asked him for his license.
Wow.
Yeah, where's your license? You don't have your license? We do have a license.
Now you can't perform.
But you don't have your license. Yes, but remember, when the inspectors come, what the inspectors check, they'll check the venue's license. Okay, venue, you are sorted. This is your license, and it categorizes background music and also events. Okay, sharp. But when a DJ, you don't belong to the venue. Where's your mobile license? Okay, here's my mobile license. Oh, okay, sharp. And then it can go further because then if RISA also comes there, they will then check sharp. Where do you buy your music?
Yeah.
You buy your music from Fagaza. You open your laptop, they see that it's from Fagaza. That's piracy. Then they'll confiscate the whole thing. You know, so it happens.
Serious, eh?
So basically, most DJs everywhere in this country are not compliant. We could say 90%.
Yeah, I would say also not by choice. You know, I'm not promoting them not to be compliant. I would love for the DJs to be compliant, but I think more education, you know, in terms of that, needs to be presented out there so that they know better. You know.
So, Linda, what does it take for one to get a DJ license? What's the process?
Process is very simple. If you're a DJ, you go online, you click.
Wait,
DJ license. Sampra.org.za.
Okay. www.sampra.org.za.
That's right.
Right?
Similarly with Samro as well.
Yeah.
Go online. Then you just complete the forms there.
Yeah.
Nothing much. You're a mobile DJ.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you pay that fee of what, 2005?
Then you pay. I'm definitely sure. Sampra is about 2005. Plus minus.
Okay.
Samro, I'm not too sure how they calculate their fee.
But you need both. You need both as a DJ.
Both licenses. You need both licenses. Even with the establishments, you need to have a Samro
And the Sampra.
and a Sampra license.
So it's a physical license that you get. That
Look, you won't carry that license all the way with you.
Because my question then is, if you do play and then they ask for it, what do you produce?
I mean, if you're a mobile DJ, obviously maybe you have a laptop there with your thing.
On your
just throw it in
phone,
there.
yeah.
Because once it's done, they will send you an A4 size license with your details there.
Right.
And there's a digital one as well, right?
And yes, there's a digital. If it's on your email or anything like that, you'll have it here. Whoever that comes as an inspector, you show them they have got it sorted.
Because I remember a huge campaign, man, that happened a couple of years back, and yeah, man, parties were stopped. You know, DJs ran away. DJs left their equipment. Like, you know, like I literally walk into a gig.
Was it during the time just when we were transitioning from CDs to USBs?
To USBs,
Because I remember they used to take people's bags of CDs. I'm inspect.
Yeah.
Yes.
I went into an establishment and I found it dead. I was about to play and I was like, guys, what's going on? The DJ left the music, he ran away, the cops were there and they were looking for licenses.
Yeah, and I don't really, I was not a big fan of how they approached the whole situation.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, first of all, before you're going to put up a certain law, you inform the people that this is the direction that we're going. Check yourselves, because if you are doing X, then you'd be on the wrong. Then once you feel that you have informed the people enough, I mean, you use all these platforms, media, you know, radio, print, and everything, and then you can then go on a rampage, you know, and
Makes
try
sense.
and arrest people for that.
It makes sense
because there was a consultative process
Yeah,
that
yeah,
involved
yeah.
the community,
It's
and you approve
and
it,
also
and
it's open knowledge.
Yes,
That
yes.
this is happening. Even people who are not DJs, because it was advertised or it's almost everywhere. Then they know
Yeah.
when they have a friend. Did you see when I go to but
are you compliant? Are you?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So
before you start arresting?
There's
us.
different ways of doing this before resorting to such
that
violence,
approach,
you know,
right?
that
Yeah,
approach, that
which
to-
is really unnecessary,
Nah.
right?
I
Yeah.
didn't like that either.
Thank you for those gems. What are you up to now, DJ Linda?
Right now, I'm running my small little baby called Groove Academy.
Groove Academy.
Yeah.
That T-shirt, right?
Oh,
Which
yeah.
I need to get us a T-shirt, please, by the way.
Should have brought us t-shirts, bro.
Yeah.
We don't have to ask, bro.
We wear this with pride.
No. We're testing this one. You know,
Right.
this is the first print. So
But I saw a white one.
if you-
So the white one is
that's
mine.
for my partner.
okay.
Yeah, I'm busy with that. I've partnered with Constitution Hill.
Yeah.
So I work with them on different projects, but as a stakeholder, obviously running Groove Academy. So I'm teaching DJing, the music business, the legal side of the music business. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And
That's
also-
what happens at Groove Academy.
Yes, and also doing workshops as well.
For someone that is interested, how do you go about then going to and consulting with you that wants to either be a DJ or learn about the...
Yeah, anytime. The Only Groove Academy at gmail.com. That's the email address.
Right.
And I'm on Instagram. They can go to my profile, Linda Malinga, drop me an inbox there. And I've got the Groove Academy Instagram profile as well.
Right.
The Only Groove Academy. Can drop me an inbox there.
Yeah.
But where do they actually can go to then see what you actually
To see.
do before
All right,
they can
you
then
I
subscribe?
don't just accept walk-ins. You come by appointment. So
Yeah.
I am based at Constitution Hill at the Transwerke.
Oh,
So
But
that's where
it's
I'm
people
based.
like, what kind of people need your type of help? DJs, producers.
No, established DJs don't necessarily need my kind of help. So I'm more of a skills development
Okay.
program. So,
Right.
however, anybody that's aspiring to be a DJ,
Yeah.
any genre of music, open format DJ, club DJ, or anything, they can come and train with me. Anybody that wants to be a music producer, whatever genre they want to produce, they can come and learn with me. And anybody that wants to understand the role of a manager, road manager, artist manager, you know, they can come and learn. So these are basic skills. If they want to understand what kind of contracts are out there that can be signed in the music business, or how to create a label copy, you know, or how to get registered with the collecting societies, they can come and learn with us. So we've actually, all the things that I'm talking about, you know, just the general ones, the
Yeah.
most important ones.
Yeah.
So we've packaged them in such a way that if you come and learn as a DJ, I will teach you how to DJ,
Yeah.
the technical skills. I will teach you the little soft skills in terms of you understanding the mixer, understanding how to connect the sound.
Read a
and
crowd
then
and all those,
why you need to have a mobile DJ license. Do you understand? By the time you leave, you're going to have a mobile DJ license. And then also how to access certain platforms where you are able to apply for funding. You know, platforms like actually, there's a number of them. I just can't get one on my mind right now, you know, where you can apply for funding. Because, you know, DJing is a very expensive hobby and career.
It is.
You know, and
NYDA?
yes, NYDA, yes, exactly. That's the one I was looking for, because we do a lot of partnerships with NYDA. You know, so once you've learned, what do you do about that? You know, we also do mentoring. I mean, once we've trained you and you feel you want to enter into a competition, you come and we'll train you. I mean, prepare you for the competition, and you go and compete. You know, with confidence.
So dope.
Yeah.
Really,
I love
really
it,
dope.
man.
So
We'll try-
they can
we'll-
get in touch with you on your socials.
Yeah.
On my socials, yes, you can get in touch with me on my socials.
Maybe give us a link,
Sure.
then we put
I
it
will
on,
send you
we'll
guys
put
a
it on
link where
our
you can
on
put
our
it up.
YouTube
Yes.
Yeah.
description there,
Yes.
where people can just click and go direct to
Oh,
the
yes.
stuff. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Wax has this segment that he
Yeah.
loves so much, right? And I'm gonna hand over to him.
Yes.
Which one is that one?
To
I got a
control
couple
it.
now, bro.
Yeah. You have a couple actually. Yeah.
Things have
of
changed.
the DJs and
Uh-huh.
So I will hand it over to you, my brother.
Which one do you want me to ask? Is it the top 5 you want?
Yeah. So they'll.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me.
Oh yeah, that is a simple one. Top 5 best DJs according to Linda.
Locally or
doesn't matter. Just
doesn't matter?
In no particular
no particular
order.
order. Just
particular
five
order. That's
that
where
you
I
be
always
like,
come in.
if
So
you're
five.
saying these are dope DJs,
Okay.
these are dope DJs.
Carl Cox.
Carl Cox. What? Why Carl Cox?
Man, I've been following that guy for a very long time.
Yeah.
You know, he has mastered the art, you know, of playing at these huge events. I mean, and you know he plays for hours, right? He takes you on a journey.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that.
Yeah.
You know, we this, you know, we're in this culture now of these 1 hour sets.
1 hour
You know,
sets.
and we come from, you know, playing at weddings the whole day and everything. So, I mean, the freedom of being able to start from one genre and ending high up there, you know, I just love that. You know,
Sure. Carl Cox.
Carl Cox, Christos.
DJ Christos.
Yeah.
I just want I always want to know why Christos. That name comes up so many times.
Yeah, you know.
Shout out to DJ Christos. Yeah?
You know, when before I knew Christos, you know, we used to hear about it. Kona lo mlungu, man. He plays this way. Until I heard him play.
Yeah.
And I became his fan. I
Yeah.
would drive to Club LS, I would drive to Cardinal. I remember there was one club back to back.
Back to back.
I would
Yeah.
go there just to listen to Christos.
Yeah,
you know. His attitude towards music, you know, the mixing is always flawless, and you know, he's always have been about finding that song. You know, Christos is not just about playing the hits. He takes you on a journey and to a certain climax.
Yeah.
You leave there, you know, in awe of the experience that you had.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
and the charisma,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
behind the decks that
Yeah.
he has had. He's not a drama king or
Yes.
anything like that. But he feels what he plays.
Yeah.
He's not lying to you. He's not trying to convince you on anything.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's either you are there with him or you're not.
So there's one thing I pick up about him. You know, there's the idea of using effects. He knows when to use the effect and when to stop it.
Certainly,
Yeah.
certainly. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he once mentioned it on his on one of his interviews. You need to know your music to know which effect to use and where.
When.
You can't just throw in an effect anywhere. You know, you can't, because then that messes up the whole thing.
The whole, yeah.
Technology is nice,
Yes.
but it's how you use it
How
that
you
matters.
use it, right? Shout out to DJ Christos. So it's Carl Cox, DJ Christos, number
Yes.
3.
Kanyani?
DJ Kanyani.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, my mentor.
Yeah.
You know. You know, I mean, the reason that I've mentioned earlier, and I've come a long way with him, you know, how he's always played. And I like how his mentality, he doesn't do it to fit in some way. He is who he is. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, then
You
tough.
don't.
Unfortunately, not everybody's going to like what you do.
Right.
You know, but if the people that hires him are happy, that's what matters. And those that are paying the bill,
Yeah.
they matter.
Yes.
The rest,
Gaz Fanela, right?
they can go swim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I once watched in awe when your cousin had a party, Gubo, and I stood right in front there, you know, and I watched this guy play.
When I think the 21st, Kule was 21st.
Erovish.
Back then,
That
yeah,
I was
man,
right in front. I was just watching that guy, and he
Yeah,
was just
man.
going on, and how he escalated that party from here to here.
Yeah,
I admire
that's
that guy to
Kanyani
this
for you.
day. It's Kanyani, TJ Kanyani.
Yeah,
Number
man.
4.
Number 4, Tulane, the warrior.
Tulane the Warrior.
Yeah.
Bless them,
Warrior.
bless them.
You know.
I
I think that's one of the most underrated DJs, you know, that we have. You know, he is himself always.
Yeah.
You know,
Unapologetic.
you get what you think you will get when you want to listen to the warrior.
Yeah.
You know, so I really love that guy. I love how he plays. I like his style of music.
Yeah.
You know, really like it.
Tulane the Warrior.
Yeah, man.
That's my
Yeah,
boy,
man.
man. The last one.
Yeah. I'd have to say Claude.
Claude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tumbele.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man,
Stumps.
yeah.
What is it about Claude as well, man? You know, that name is starting to come up a lot as well,
Yeah.
you know?
I think Claude has an ear for a certain sound,
Yeah.
and which he has already embedded as his signature sound. You know, there's a Claude sound that you know as well when you enter into a venue. This
Claude is playing.
chances are is Claude.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
is very good at that.
Yeah.
He knows how to identify it, and it mirrors him as well.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't go too much out of his, how do I put it, comfort zone in terms of sound.
Yeah.
But Claude is able to find a sound that now you would like instantly. You know, he's mastered that.
Yeah.
You know.
I think for me, Claude, you know, how he's been able, especially because, and he says it proudly, Uti, I like to play a lot of the local content.
Yeah.
How he's able to identify the dope local content, and like he will play you tracks that you've never heard before, and you ask and he say, no, this is local, but how he plays that sound is just, it blows me away all the time.
Yes, and also just him identifying it that this is something that I would play.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of local music out there, but at the end of the day, as much as now we all have access to music,
Yep.
we are not all going to buy the same music.
Yeah.
How much time
And
do
if
you
it's so
spend?
minga kulu manje,
Yes,
there's no way
yes.
you will play the same stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yep.
how much time do you invest in terms of searching and digging
Thank
and
you.
finding that jam?
Back to you, man. What's the future like for DJ Lind?
Well, to correct you there, I no longer use the prefix DJ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not ever.
Why not?
I
stopped that
I like that.
a long time ago, man. You know, I'm Linda the Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped that a long time ago. Actually, the person that gave me that name, Linda the Great, the idea of Linda the Great, was Fistas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Back
Shout
in,
out to Malum Fistas.
Yeah, man. Fizzy.
a while back. It's been a long time now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Lindas out there. You know, DJ Linda. So there needs to be a differentiation. Which Linda is this one?
Yeah.
You know, there's Linda Waseval. And
Yes.
there's Linda Mavimbela.
Mavimbela as well, yeah.
You know.
And West and Pumekasili one.
Even worse. So actually, that was a blessing, you know, when Fistas was like, come on, man. Try this one. Linda the Great. And I was like, let me try it. And it worked and it stuck.
Oh, nice.
So,
man.
yeah.
Well, so you no longer use the DJ
No,
part of it?
never.
It's nothing technical, there's nothing, anything to
No.
it. It's just, you just want to be known as Linda the Great.
Yes, I prefer it that way.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now I know. I didn't know, but I know now.
It's
But it's not that deep, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
nothing deep. Nothing
Yeah,
deep
yeah.
into
It seems deep, but it's not
You
deep.
know,
Yeah.
Nah, not at all.
What's the future like for you, man?
If I had a mirror ball, I'd say. However, optimistic. Look, I wanna train more kids.
Yeah.
You know, train more kids. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll produce the next Black Coffee. But I wanna visit more schools. You know, also get rid of the stigma that the music business or the music industry is bad or anything like that. You know, show the positive. You know, show the positive side of it, and also the opportunities that are available there. You know, get rid of also the stereotype that being in the music business or the music industry rather, you have to be a DJ, be behind the decks or be the artist or anything. There's so much more. You can be a
Behind the
composer,
scenes,
you can be a backup artist, you can be an artist manager, you can do A&R, or you can do events, you know, you can do marketing.
So are you
whole lot.
on an active campaign to do that?
I am on an active campaign. Okay, this one I cannot disclose yet. However,
Okay.
so how we are running our program at Groove Academy, we're going to run it through a bursary scheme.
Right.
Which we're going to then give bursaries to those less unfortunate kids from Ekasi,
That is
even
cool.
from the universities.
So cool.
That is cool, man.
Yeah. Like I've partnered with Voice of Wits. I've awarded about
Shout out
5
to Voice of
bursaries.
Wits.
Yeah, shout out to Voice of It.
Yeah.
5 bursaries, you said?
Yes, 5 bursaries, and they are starting actually from next week
Wow,
to
man.
Oh,
come and learn.
nice. It's in motion already.
So, I mean, remember at the end of the day, I don't want to exclude the varsities and the technicals because sometimes some students are there. The parents have gone and taken heavy loans for them to go and study whatever degree. But some of them, they really love music. So how do we then offer them the opportunity to come and train with us? You know, then again, we also look at Idmanas Asekasi, girls and boys, and anything like that. Because we need to eradicate the poverty, the drug abuse system, and everything, you know. Because we need to be the change that we want to see. We know that we see a lot of girls going into this DJing, dressing very little, almost to nothing, you know. Unfortunately, nonsense sells. And it's difficult for us to teach that sometimes you really don't have to go that far.
Let your talent speak for
exactly.
itself.
How do we do that? You need to bring them safe space, safe environment, teach them, have guest speakers like yourself and the waxes, so that by the time they come up out of there, it's not only sex that they think would be able to sell them.
So,
At the end of the day, if the person decides to go that route, then they must know that they were taught better, but they chose a different path. So that's the future for me.
wow, that's deep, man.
I like that. That is really cool, man.
So cool, man.
I love the fact that it's actually in motion right now. It's
Yes,
something
it
that
is.
is happening right now. We're gonna
Congratulations,
put,
man.
like we said, we're gonna put a link below. Just click on the link on the description. Click on the link and just get to see what's going on. As a you know, an upcoming artist, upcoming music enthusiast. All you have to do, click on the link, go and see what they're doing. Maybe you could have an opportunity and even get yourself a bursary. Yeah. So it won't hurt to try. You know what I mean? But I think that is dope, man. That's a really cool initiative, man.
Well done, man.
If there would be a street in Soweto named after a DJ, which DJ would you think should be the first DJ who would have his own street name?
Kanyani.
Why?
Kanyani is the number one DJ of Soweto.
Yeah.
He's earned his accolades, you know. And the legendary status that he has, he's earned it. He's got all the accolades that qualifies him to be a legend, not only of Soweto, but of South Africa as a DJ, and the number one DJ of Soweto.
Yeah.
Shout out to Master G.
Shout out to Master G. Imagine having like a Vilakazi street, but this is like a Kanyani street, and it's about the art form.
Man.
You know, not food and restaurant, just art form.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dog. Yo, that would be so dope. There's not much to really say, you know. Linda is, I almost said DJ Linda. Linda is a good friend of mine. Like I said, very knowledgeable. You know, there's so much that I pick up from this guy. You know, there's a lot that you can
feels
still...
like we're going to need more episodes with
Yeah, man, because I think there's
no
so
way.
much, I think we scratched the surface in terms of what he does and the projects that he's involved in and the knowledge that he has about the industry. Because we talk about these, you know, off camera and, you know, we talk about them when we're together. But I think a lot of people need to know about this information because we talk about it and people don't know where to go. They feel they've got no access to this information. And when someone like you comes along and says, guys, it's not that difficult. Here's what you do. We need you to come back and share that those kind of jams. You know what I'm saying? DJ Linda, man, you know I dig you. Me and you have gone through quite a lot together. But thank you for coming through, man. I wish you nothing but the best when it comes to this industry. You know I've always done so. I've always been in support of whatever that you do. So continue doing what you're doing. We love what you do. Don't be afraid to come here. You know, if you've got something that you want to come spread and share, you know what I mean? Thank you so much for coming through, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Much love and respect, you know?
Thank you, man.
Likewise, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for the knowledge. Thanks for everything. I think it's one of those episodes.
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
Another one.
Please, man, everybody that is watching our podcast, thank you for the love that you're showing us. We appreciate it. I know some of the Soweto cats, also a few of them took it personal when we were saying they don't watch our show. And someone was like, I'm in Deep Kloof, but it's outside of Soweto. You know, some of those comments, we love you, man. Thank you for leaving comments, for leaving likes. Please address us and speak to us. Say what you feel. If you're not happy about something, say it, speak up. But please leave those comments.
Because it helps us grow as well.
Yeah. And we love you. We love Soweto. We're from there. And the one guy that's going to make us very famous is going to come from there.
Yeah.
Thank you for the love, and I appreciate it. And thank you to Linda Malinga. It was really profound.
Much
and
love and
appreciated.
Danko.
Yeah, boy.